PickSixSportsShow.com.
All right, and Peter, welcome to the show.
Greetings from Birmingham, gentlemen. What's going on?
All right, my friend.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on. You know, all those live, both teams played hard. Dwight Howard, everything's going on this first 30 minutes of the show here, Peter. But first of all, I got to get your opinions before we get to any free agency talk. What are your thoughts on Rasheed Wallace being hired by the Pistons? I know Brian likes it. I know Phillips says anybody can get hired, even Allen Iverson. So what are your thoughts, Peter?
What about practice?
Well, hey, I side with Brian on this, man. I think Rasheed's one of the greater psychologists that played in the game. And you look at Detroit with what they got with the young guys like Drummond and Greg Monroe. I think Rasheed's signing's more to help develop and keep some toughness to those guys because they truly are the future of the team. So I like the hire. I think it makes sense.
Mm. And, you know, I could see, especially with a guy like Josh Smith, like we were saying, you look at a guy like that who's really been ridiculed his whole career in Atlanta for the way he plays, his attitude. I could see Rasheed, if he comes in the right way, I could see him really helping out a guy like that.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, Rasheed was, you know, he's always going to be looked at in such a positive light with the Detroit fans because he was that final piece of the puzzle for that team when it went on that major run, you know, from 03. Actually, it was 04 he got traded to the team to when he got let go. So, you know, for Detroit, the organization, I'm sure they still love Rasheed for that run they had there, you know, in the 2000s.
And, you know, kind of getting to free agency a little bit, I know Pick6SportsShow.com has really had a big grasp on free agency and all the trades and everything that's been going on. You guys doing a great job with it down there. And kind of talk about some of the moves. First of all, I know Dwight Howard. I got to get your opinion on that whole deal.
Yeah, wasn't that wild? You know, the Warriors made that last-ditch effort, getting rid of Jefferson and Biedron's contract, and they actually threw in Brandon Rush, and they signed Iguodala, and I thought for sure, I was like, oh, man, it's about to go down for Golden State. But, you know, the team that, you know, you guys talked about last week that, you know, really had the upper leg of this whole thing was really the Rockets. But, yeah, but the whole thing, though, you know, what was that? Was that Friday afternoon? You know,
Yeah.
you still didn't know 100%, you know, where he was leaning. But I think the Rockets. I think that was his number one spot going into free agency, and I think the Rockets made the right moves and freed up enough space, and they got their guy. They've been wanting Dwight Howard now the last two off seasons.
What do you think about the contract? Because I know Bob was, you know, like I said, I'd never seen his face twist into so many ways. Ever hearing that he made $22 million.
He's still shaking his head over here.
Over here shaking his head. What do you think about it? Do you think $22 million is too much?
I think it's a bargain, Peter. What you think?
Well, you got to look at the other contracts in the league. You got Kobe Bryant's going to be making $30 million next year. Dirk's making 22, and then, you know, after that you got Gilbert Arenas, who's not even in the league anymore. He's still getting paid $22 million from,
Wow.
you know, from the Magic. Yeah.
Peter.
And then, you know,
Peter.
Yes, sir.
Kobe Bryant has proven himself. Dwight Howard has really not proven himself other than going places causing trouble. I mean,
Well,
you talk about a guy like Kobe Bryant, you know, making that much money. I can understand that, but I just don't see Dwight Howard doing that.
Oh, no, and, you know, I agree with that sentiment too. But at the same time, there were 6 other teams who wanted to pay Dwight Howard at least $22 million a year. So, you know, you can't blame a guy. It's like me, for instance. If someone's willing to pay me $22 million, I'd have a hard time turning that down.
Yeah,
So really, it's not his fault, and it's what the market calls for. You know, like baseball players, you know, their contracts are out of control, but that's what the market calls for. If you're willing to spend that much money, it's not that player's fault. That's that's those team's fault.
Exactly.
In all reality,
Exactly.
you know.
I don't know why that was so funny. It was.
Yeah. Peter, I want to talk to you about another controversial center that's in the free agency market. About Andrew Bynum is reportedly looking at the Cavaliers right now. Would you, if you were the general manager for the Cavaliers, would you take him?
Oh yeah, but here's the thing with Bynum. He has to be a year or two, 1 or 2 year contract. But I definitely think he's only 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's still unbelievable. I cannot believe he's
you
so
could
young.
probably sign Bynum for anywhere to $4 to $7 million. Now, his contract was ridiculous. What Sixers had to pay for getting nothing. And no, there's no guarantee he's going to come back and be at the level he was at last year for the Lakers, where he was like, he was one of the best centers in the league that last year for the Lakers.
Yeah.
But if you give him between $4 and $7 million just for a year, or even $8 million, in this league, there's not that many dominant centers, and Bynum was one. So I definitely think he's worth that risk. But you got teams like Cleveland. I heard the Hawks were kind of in talks, and the Mavs. They need a center. So for $7 to $8 million, I definitely think he's worth that risk.
And I want to give a quick Twitter shout out to Jay in Huntsville, Alabama, who's tweeted us saying hiring Rasheed Wallace for a coaching job is like inviting Snoop Dogg to be a counselor at a church camp. Which is a pretty interesting comment by Jay. Shout out to Jay down here in Huntsville. But kind of getting back to the Andrew Bynum situation, I could see it paying dividends to a degree for the Cavaliers. Even though, do you find it kind of odd they have a guy like Anderson Varejao, who was top 5 in the NBA in rebound, it was looking really good until he got hurt, that they would want to take a risk on adding Bynum and Varejao?
But see, that's the thing with Bynum, though. You're not going to sign him for more than 1 to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just really, he's done it to himself. He's not given any NBA team confidence. For some teams, he's not even really working out. For them to get a look at him. So yeah, I think Bynum's going to have a hard time getting a contract longer than 2 years in this current market.
Mm-hmm. And looking at a team like Cleveland, how interesting are they to you? Looking at the moves that they've made. Do you think they've improved themselves getting a guy like Jarrett Jack in free agency? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think Jarrett Jack's a great compliment. I think the other guy they signed too, Earl Clark, I think he'll fill a need for them too. I think Earl Clark, will push Tristan Thompson there and make him work for that starting lineup spot. I think Earl Clark can give them, added bonus. And you had a guy like Bynum. They still got Zeller there, who's developing. And like you said, Anderson Varejao, but we don't know the timetable for him to return from his injury. He had a pretty severe injury that ended this season early last year. So, Bynum coming in for 1 year, that would be a good litmus test for him to see if he's worthy of a long-term contract. But I still think Cleveland, though, Joe, I think they're leaving room for that possibility that LeBron will test the free agency market next year, and I think in their heart of hearts they think LeBron obviously might give them serious consideration.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people talking about, the Heat fans aren't even worried about this season. They're already having, heart attacks, convulsions, thinking about next summer. But, I know the Bucks got O.J. Mayo to come on. I think it was 3 year, $24 million.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to have any effect on Brandon Jennings returning?
Yeah, Brian, we talked about this last week. That was the guy you and I both liked. And I just really, I don't know what it is about the Bucks organization and their confidence in Brandon Jennings. I mean, they haven't even really offered him, a qualifying offer
Don't
yet.
even understand it, man.
And I really think they're just letting him test the market. But I think a team like Atlanta would totally benefit from this trade because,
definitely,
if you're going to lose Brandon Jennings, at least you get Jeff Teague in return. And Teague's really a guy I had high on my list. I think he's a very underrated, tough-nosed point guard. That if he lands on the right team, he could be a great balancing act to a team that has a shooting guard who needs tons of touches, which we know O.J. Mayo, will probably shoot the ball 18 to 20 times with the Bucks. So that actually might be a better combination for Milwaukee, is to make that deal. And Teague will probably sign for a lot less than Jennings will in the long run.
Most definitely. And I know it's a little breaking news here, probably not that surprising, with the Los Angeles Lakers, as a matter of fact, not necessarily that one, but the Lakers have signed Chris Kaman, Dwight Howard's replacement. Chris Kaman coming in for a 1 year deal. What's your thoughts on that, Peter?
Keenan was one of those guys that, he was going to try to find the best situation, that he could plug and play. And, I don't know about D'Antoni's system. I don't know if he'll be a starter. It seemed like, D'Antoni, he likes guys that run the court a little bit more as far as his big. So, Keenan might come off the bench in that role. I don't see him in the starting lineup.
Yeah, definitely not.
That was kind of the problems that they had with Dwight and Gasol. It was like, they're almost too big for D'Antoni's system. So, but I like Chris Kaman. I'm not surprised at all that he landed with the Lakers. You said it was just a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
Yeah, and I've always liked Chris Kaman myself. I mean, a lot of people, I don't know, people who follow the NBA and have followed it for some time, you would remember Chris Kaman playing for the Clippers, and he was actually their best player. He was an all-star player, and he was in that form for several seasons. I mean,
he's still a serve.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit older now, but I think if you can bring him off the bench to provide energy behind Pau Gasol or something like that, I think it's a great move.
I mean, it's probably the best backup center in the league if you really look at it. I know we like Kosta Koufos, but I would think Koufos or whatever.
You gotta get that name right by the time this season starts, guys.
Koufos. I must look at his name on the rock.
Koufos, Dominukas, whatever it is. All right, there I go.
It's another horrible rhyme.
Yeah, anyway. All right, hey, let's take a commercial break. Brian, let's take a commercial break right here. And when we come back, we'll continue to talk to Peter Lancaster out of Birmingham, Alabama. And I want to remind you, tomorrow morning, Memphis in the morning, we're back on 6 to 9 a.m. And one of our special guests tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. Commissioner James Harvey will be on the show. James Harvey Sr. as well as Axel.
Yes, Axel David. To be representative of the child that was in the video. Most people seen on YouTube and on Facebook, and I think it was Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where they had a DUI stop, and they just violated all kinds of rights of the young man there. We'll be talking to him tomorrow morning on Memphis in the Morning, 6 to 9 a.m. You're in tune to Talk Back with Bob
And Josh.
730 Yahoo Sports.
Are you a homeowner with homeowners insurance? If so, and if you have roof damage, M&M Roofing can help you get a new roof at no cost to you. Seriously, this is not a gimmick. There's no fine print. There will be no money out of your pocket, period. You know there's nothing worse than pulling in your driveway, looking at your home, and staring at a bad roof. You want to fix it, but you've never done it because you don't think you've got the money to do it. Turns out you might not need any money to do it. It's possible. In fact, it's likely M&M Roofing can get you a new roof at no cost to you. M&M Roofing is licensed, bonded, and insured, and they work directly with your insurance company. You don't have to be too involved unless you want to be involved. And either way, you'll be kept up to date every step of the way. M&M Roofing offers a limited lifetime warranty on all materials. They also handle commercial roofing, and they offer a $100 referral fee. So if you're a homeowner with homeowners insurance and you need a new roof, or if you know a homeowner with homeowners insurance who needs a new roof, call my guy Danny Morrison with M&M Roofing at 901-870-0186. That's Danny Morrison with M&M Roofing at 901-870-0186, or visit M&M Roofing online at mmroofing.net.
Got a taste for some good old soul food? Don't look any further. Country Cooking Soul Food Restaurant, located at 1128 Winchester Road, at the corner of Winchester and Elvis Presley in Memphis, Tennessee. Call 901-345-5505. Country Cooking Soul Food Restaurant is a relaxing and exciting soul food restaurant where you can come and enjoy great food, great hospitality, and the wonderful taste of homemade country cooking. Catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, meatloaf, neck bones, greens, yams, mac and cheese, and more. They're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., 901-345-5505 for catering. Country Cooking Soul Food Restaurant, 1128 Winchester Road, where every day is Sunday. Need help to regain your financial freedom and raise your credit score? Do you have problems with collection, late payments, charge-off, tax liens? You need to call Credit Therapy today, 877-367-5270 for your free consultation. Credit Therapy has helped their clients remove bankruptcy, child support, repossession, foreclosure, medical bills, judgments, and more. Call today, 877-367-5270, or visit on the web, www.yourcredittherapy.com. Call Credit Therapy, 877-367-5270 today for your free consultation. Rainbow Pest Control, 901-345-0818, located at 1128 Winchester Road in Memphis, a complete pest and termite control company, residential and commercial. We're a full-service company providing a complete and quality service to satisfy all your pest control needs. Roaches, ants, spiders, bedbugs, mosquito control, roof rats, mice, carpet ant treatments, and more. Serving the Mid-South since 1984. They're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 901-345-0818. Rainbow Pest Control. We don't make excuses. We fulfill promises.
Thank you for calling Dove Family Dentistry. How may I help you?
At Dove Family Dentistry, we cater to the needs of the working family. We're open 6 days a week and until 8 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. We're also open every Saturday. We accept all major insurances and offer flexible payment plans. Please call 901-213-9337 for your appointment. And as always, we gladly accept walk-ins.
Dove Family Dentistry is located at 3030 Covington Pike, Suite 150, Memphis, Tennessee. For more information, call 901-213-9337. That's Dove Family Dentistry. T-Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis. A complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. T-Graphics Printing. With our good friend out of Birmingham, Alabama, Peter Lancaster. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hey, guys, real quick, I want to tell y'all congratulations on the launch of your new show, man. I'm really excited and happy for y'all's success already starting off this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that, man. And we got to get you on one morning. Wake you up early.
Hey, bring it on, man. That'd be great.
Most definitely. And, you know, I know we were talking about free agency, and one interesting move to me, which was a team in the Eastern Conference, was the Detroit Pistons getting Josh Smith. You know, I know we talked about Rasheed Wallace and his possible impact. What are your thoughts on Josh Smith, and do you think that could help change Detroit coming up in the future?
I think Detroit has been looking for a star player for quite a while, and they have rebuilt the foundation of their roster through the draft, and they've actually lucked out pretty well. I mean, Greg Monroe fell to him, Brandon Knight fell to him, and Drummond last year fell to him. So they've done a great job of accumulating talent. That's just really, I mean, nothing they did special or crazy. It's just, you know, talented players fell in the draft and landed in their lap. So I think they were looking for a veteran who can come in and give them something a little bit different than they currently have in their roster the last 3 seasons. And that team really, if you know, I don't know if you've watching their games. Me being the NBA nerd, I watched them all the time on my NBA app. But they would start off games so strong, but they just didn't have enough at the end.
Yeah.
And I think with getting a guy like Josh Smith, that moves a guy like Kyle Singler to the bench. And I think Singler could come in and give them something off the bench now, as opposed to having to play, you know, 35 to 40 minutes a game as a starting small forward. So I like the Josh Smith signing. Kind of like Bob, I don't know, Josh Smith, you know, I don't know if he's worthy of a, you know, $12, $13 million contract like he got, but I think he will be able to play at a high level for the Pistons with that offense they have set up, and I think he's going to surprise some people because Monroe's a really good passer, and Josh Smith, who's a good defender and a good passer also. I think the Pistons will surprise some people, and I think they'll make good on that signing.
Yeah, and, you know, Peter, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you know, yesterday, of course, the Summer League got underway.
Yep.
I had a chance to watch some of the games there. There were actually some very good competition there. You know, I got to see a couple guys like Victor Oladipo had a great game. You know, one guy that kind of disappointed me. I know it's still too early to put that on these guys because I mean they're probably nervous. This is their first time and everything. One of the guys that kind of disappointed me a little bit was Trey Burke. You know, he didn't have the game I thought he might have. What was your opinion on him? Not just on him, but on kind of everything that went on yesterday.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually watched it. I was at my parents' house. They actually have NBA TV, and they all left the room. I turned it on, and I watched like 3 games in a row. And I'm kind of with you. I was really surprised. I mean, Trey Burke, he did not really play that well. But, you know, with him, though, they got to find a way to give him some confidence. And I don't know if that's him coming off the bench or if they're just going to throw him in the deep end right away and have him start from day one. So they got a tricky situation there because they're going to rely a lot on him at some point, right? I mean, they made major moves in the draft to trade up to get him. You know, he comes in as, you know, the NCAA Player of the Year. So, yeah, he's going to have a whole new set of eyeballs on him that he wasn't used to, even being, you know, a top college player. And, they're going to need to instill some confidence in him some way, somehow. And, you know, who knows? That might have just been an off game, but that's definitely something that the Jazz are going to have to monitor. You're right. I mean, they're going to need big things from him, you know, coming up for this next season because he's really all they got. At point guard, they didn't bring back Mo, and they had some veterans that they could re-sign, but nobody's going to start and play, you know, major minutes. So yeah, they're going to have to really work on his development this off season and going into the start of the season.
And you know, is it Mason Plumlee or Miles Plumlee that just got drafted for the Pacers? Mason. I get these guys mixed up all the time, but you know, he was another guy that really impressed me yesterday. He had like 6 blocks in the game and everything. Did you get a chance to see him play?
Yeah, sure did, man. And you know, he's one of those guys. If you looked at Indiana's bench, they had some talented guys that really didn't get it that much play in the playoffs, which kind of surprised me. Then you see Plumlee, yesterday. It was like they probably could have used him for a couple minutes. But you know, that's what's hard to judge with the summer league because you do have to keep in mind a lot of these guys are fighting to make an NBA roster. So, I don't know if Plumlee was just one of those guys that kind of fell through the cracks, like he just wasn't quite there yet. Yeah. I would expect the Pacers to expect big things, from Plumlee going in the future.
Peter Lancaster, my friend, thanks for joining us today.
Almost forgot it, man.
You know, it's something about having a different microphone in front of you. Anyway, I don't know if that makes a difference. Peter Lancaster, thanks for joining us today on the show.
All right, guys. Thank y'all, man. Talk to y'all soon.
All right.
Thanks, Peter.